Welcome to our video, a new video here on Juanito Learns, and we are going to try to learn how to get notifications when something happens in OneDrive. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to um, set up a webhook as described in this website, how to set up a webhook so that every time we do change in our on OneDrive, that notification will go to an Azure function. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clone the example. And I'm gonna click on here, we're gonna go to that site, and I'm gonna click on clone. Because we're gonna clone that repo. Go git clone, paste that. So we're gonna take a look at what we cloned. So we got all these files here. We're gonna go to OneDrive webhooks, and we're gonna go to the Visual Studio solution, which is somewhere here. There you go. Open Visual Studio. And then in here, we're going to check the instructions. Well, we probably should check the instructions here in the README. Let's see what the README says. This ISP and MSC upsample shows how to receive notifications from OneDrive and OneDrive for Business. Following are common tasks that a web application performs with OneDrive webhooks. Designing your users with your Microsoft account. They use those access tokens to create a webhook subscription. So these two we're gonna try to do those today to set up that subscription because we want that to on a subscription to be sent to our Azure function, or maybe inside the ASP.NET. We'll see. I believe we have to do it in the Azure function here. And I believe because this function right here, the one from before, it's a different function here, and I will show you what it is. It's this guy right here. This guy right here is supposed to receive that validation message, and it's supposed to receive that validation message. So we're gonna try to see how to trigger that webhook, how to set up that webhook using the example that they have here. So let's see here. Notice that we need an endpoint, a public endpoint that the webhook can receive the setup notification from, and we have that. We're gonna have that on our Azure function. Client ID and key for two applications. To enable OneDrive personal support, you need to register an application with the Microsoft registration portal. And that's somewhere here, I believe. Oh, page not found. Okay. So maybe what we need to do is this is gonna be interesting because we need to somehow ask OneDrive to set up that notification, but have it. Let's search for OneDrive hooks. using webhooks to receive service-to-service notifications. Through webhooks, provide a simple notification pipeline. So we need to do a post. We need to do a post to create a subscription. But how do we register? To register for webhooks, you add a new subscription to the item represented at the top of the scope for which you want to receive any changes. Webhook notifications will be sent to you app only. We'll change the phone criteria. The user has to rise. The app has an identity notification. The subscription has not expired. Your app will not receive notifications for items that have been shared with the user who has signed in or remote items in the user's drive unless separate subscriptions are created for the original items. So that's if somebody shared some folders with you, then you change something in those folders, that's not going to send a notification because the subscription is at the user at the user account level. So how to add the subscription? Let's see, adding a new subscription. We need a file read, read write, read all, read all. And I believe our application already has that. Let me check on application. Our registration should have that. Oh, we need to create a new one here. Next gonna expire. Make it today, and it's going to end tomorrow. Then we're gonna copy a secret ID. Oops, value. I'm gonna put it somewhere here, my computer, and then it's gonna expire later on. But the rights that we need an API permissions, and we do have file reads, but that doesn't look like. We need a file reads for delegated. Let me add a delegated permission, just like they say here, but for files read. Read all the users that the user can access. Add permissions. Okay, so somehow we have to make my personal Hotmail account consent to those permissions, and that's the problem because we need to subscribe to that on the context of my account, on my personal Hotmail account, instead of the context of my app. My app registration. So the question is how to do that, and we need to figure out a way to do that because if we read here, Yes, we need to do a post and subscriptions. Before that, we have to be logged in as the user. Huh. Let me try running this ASP.NET application in the context. Oh, actually, you know what? We need to figure out a way of doing an implicit. Let's do a implicit flow Microsoft account console app. That's gonna be interesting. Implicit flow. Let's see what it says. This asks for the auto code. Sample as that use MSO. Let's take a look at the sample as because maybe we can just change it from there. And natively install apps. That's good. That's what we want, I believe. Device install apps such as mobile and desktop apps, which is a console app. It needs to access backend services with APIs that store data and perform functions on behalf of the user. These apps can add a sign-in and authorization to backend services by using the authorization code flow. So we're going to use a desktop app to get that token to authorize the user, then being able to call our setup notification OneDrive API. So basically you have an app, a native app, you pop up a browser, and they do whatever they need to do, and then we get back an authorization code, and then with that, then we get our other tokens. And then with those with that access token, then we can call the APIs because we're running as that user. So let's see. Whoop. And I wish they had a sample. Maybe it's over here. Web application. Nope. Desktop applications. .NET Core. Device flow. No. Call Microsoft app. Maybe this one. Authorization code. Call Microsoft Graph with daemon console. Let's see. Oh, but it's with its own identity. We do not want that. We want the identity of the user. Let's see. This one. Microsoft Identity. That's the tutorial. Calling Microsoft Graph. Using the Microsoft Identity platform to call Microsoft Graph API from a multi-target console application. That's all to say, I just a console application. Ah, perfect. From that console, we're gonna call to obtain a JWT token from Active Directory. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me copy this one instead of the other repo. I'm gonna delete this repo right here. I don't want this anymore. I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna tell it bye-bye. And then I'm gonna clone that repo. Oh, I already have it here. Whoops. Paste anyway. So we clone it. Let's open this guy. And we want to call the first tutorial, the very first one, Azure AD. Just open this one. So again, we're gonna use this example from Microsoft. We're gonna probably change a little bit. Yeah, so while it's opening, the instructions from the GitHub, we have to read this and in order to set up for our project, because you can just run it without telling it what application registration to use. Again, in order to use Microsoft Graph, you have to register an application in some sort of Azure tenant. That application can apply for both an audience of both Microsoft accounts, personal accounts, or a work account. We'll see. We are already registered. Let me go to step 3. Go choose the oh, it's right here. I'm sorry. Oh, the rec. I do need to put a rec of localhost, I guess. So we're gonna go here. Where's our rect? What? Maybe I do need to add a platform. Authentication blade on the left. Click on add a platform, mobile and desktop. I did not know what these are for. But I'm just gonna follow the tutorial that says localhost. Oh wait. In the reg URI, suggested reg URIs for public clients, mobile desktop section, select login that. Okay, so that's a weird step. We do have to enter that, but we also have to click on this. And then save. In this case, configure. So we'll see what happens. And we already add the permissions. And then we have to configure the client app, the thing that we just cloned. We're gonna configure it to use the our values that we did. Client ID. Client ID is this guy right here. Let's see. Where did he go? Overview. My client ID is this. So I'm gonna paste it there. my tenant ID, it also shows here, right here, directory ID. And again, it's a directory I created using the development version of Office 365. And it's an environment that anybody can create for free for development work. So we had that. Then run the example. No, we're not gonna run it yet. We're gonna see what it's trying to do. So they're loading the configuration from app settings. This is just standard .NET stuff. And then on here, they're signing in to get the token, which they get. And then they get the token. And then they execute. That's the token. Oh, that's just all just for getting the token. And then when they get the token, then they're gonna call something. Oh, just setting this up. And they call it. We can add some breakpoints too. That way, it's better for us. And that's interesting. It is giving us an error. And that might be because I do not have 3.1. How about we put net 5.0, which is what I do have. Or not. Looks my NuGet packages are not building. I wonder why. Let me just do a build. And let's get more information about the build of why it failed by going to the text version of it. Oh, where is the text version? Oh, you go to view and then you go to output. What? Oh, that's when you get an error like that referencing the OBJ, you probably just have to clean that OBJ folder. Let's do that right now. Goodbye, OBJ. Let's rebuild. Still not liking it. Being released do not exist, but why will it need that? And it might be something being configured over here. Nope, there is no special files. That is a very weird error. Dependencies, packages. Let me just do the old-fashioned when I go properties here. Just gonna make sure that we're targeting the right framework. Oh, well, there's nothing showing up. Well, that's not good. Yeah, target framework is not open. Let me fix that. Maybe it's 5.9? I do not know. I'm feeling this version is not okay. that is something about this project is not liking it. Of this. Net. Let me delete everything on the bin folder and the job folder, the OPG folder. Let me try again. Let me do it the old-fashioned way. Command. And I'm just gonna do a .NET store. It doesn't exist. And I do wonder why it thinks that it needs that file. Still unless it needs this file right here. The local resource that. Somehow it's doing that. Why is it asking for that? That is very strange. Let me do something. Let me try to get it out of that folder to see if there's anything. Well, there should be something here. Close it. Let me copy this guy. Let me open it somewhere else. Just gonna put it over here. No, actually not over there. Well, yeah. We're gonna move it to a graph hook. I'm gonna paste it here. Then I'm going to open it and see what happens. Let me clean out that bin and obj. Then we're going to try to restore. Oh, what in the world? Why is he still thinking that? Okay, we're gonna have to search for it. He's thinking somehow that this guy, who is this guy? Where's this guy at? Save all. How in the world? I mean, I should have no firewall. Search for that error. It's not giving me that much. Well, that didn't work. So I'm just gonna try to do this. Manage nuggets. just gonna try to update those manually. But it's not liking it. Why? Something about it. It's not. It's thinking that it needs something, but it doesn't need it. It needs this. It thinks it's thinking that it needs this, but it doesn't need it. So we have to figure that out. It's usually a build error, but well, you know what? I'm just gonna cheat here. I'm gonna add a new project. And I'm gonna tell it that I want a C# console application. Next, I'm gonna call it setup webhook registration. Oh, and 5.0, create. I'm basically creating a new empty one. I'm gonna copy this guy right here because I need this guy. Paste it there. And then I need to figure out a way. Oh, there you go. So I need to figure out a way of, yeah, I already copied it and then I'm gonna paste it. I have to make sure for this guy that is copy newer. That's very important for app settings files. And then I'm just gonna copy the dependencies, and to copy the dependency, all I have to do is copy the whole item group and then paste it in here. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm gonna let it build. Okay, and looks like this time it succeeded. So check on that. Let's see. No, it didn't succeed, but it succeeded. It says succeeded, but didn't look at why. Just doesn't like it. It's thinking that it needs that. So it's something about those Nougat packages. What is it about you guys? Ah, get my toolbar, my text or standard. I know, yeah. Text editor. Comment that out. Comment that out. Build it now. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I think I know what the problem is. I'm here to Docker Manager, manage settings. I'm gonna just make sure that there's no weird uh, there's no weird ones here. Oh yeah, like this guy right here. I'm just gonna check it there. It's like no way. That's probably all we had to do. Build this now, and it should work this time. So he was complaining about for some reason it added that source, that NuGet source, but it shouldn't have to run it. Okay, so that's fine. We're just gonna run it. Great. Here, but my scopes, I do want to change something on my scopes because my scopes, I do want to um, turn. I do want to ask for files read all. I think that's how you pronounce it. I mean, I think that's how you write down. Double check. Yeah, this is files read all. So we'll see what happens now. I put a breakpoint over here just for our access token. I'm gonna run it now. And it's going to call that. So I'm gonna let it call it. So I don't want this guy. What I want is to open it under my other user right here. Paste that. JP Darko. Huh. I cannot access this in that tenant. Even though I told it that I want this application to be offered to basically everybody. It's basically telling me no, you cannot. Accounts in any organizational directory and personal Microsoft accounts. Oh, there you go. Starting November 9th, end users will no longer be able to grant consent to newly registered multi-tenant apps without verified publishers. Add MPVN to verify publisher. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. It's nope. So I'm gonna have to add the MVPN, but where? Let's try MVPN. Nope. She cannot do that. Oh well, that's not good. So I do have to somehow add an MPN ID in order for me to be able to give guy access to it, to allow to consent as this person, which is my personal profile, hotmail.com. Then somehow I need to do this. I have to verify the publisher. I need to become a verified publisher. Interesting. Oh wait, allow public client flows. Well, let me click on yes on this just in case. Let me click on save. Let me run that application again. Let's see. Nope. So there has to be some extra step that we have to configure in order to allow personal accounts to authenticate. Maybe some instructions. Maybe we missed that. I don't think so. It's pretty clear. Yeah. No. Maybe there's a link here that explains more about that personal account. Personal account. Interesting. Well, maybe what we need to do is somehow, for anybody that wants to be part of, for anybody that want to get notifications for changes, it has to be actually part of our Azure tenant, the Azure tenant. So in this case, we cannot do it, or actually we could do it, but just have to make sure somehow fix the issue of allowing our personal people to authenticate into that tenant. I'm gonna stop the video for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a great evening. Thank you. Bye.